We spend billions of dollars every year trying to smooth out our rough edges. Between digital filters and cosmetic alterations, we are obsessed with erasing every single physical flaw. But the drive to carve away our humanity until only unblemished marble remains is an ancient psychological trap. You can see it carved into classical art. In 1843, Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote a short story called The Birthmark. Long before the first digital filter, he mapped out the exact deadly consequences of this obsession. The urge to scrub away our physical flaws often masks a darker impulse. When we try to fix every single imperfection, we risk destroying the very thing we are trying to save. Meet Aylmer. He is a highly ambitious scientist. He recently married Georgiana, a woman who possesses a grace and beauty so profound she is nearly flawless. There is exactly one exception. Resting on her pale left cheek is a small red mark. If you look closely, it is shaped remarkably like a tiny human hand. For Aylmer, that tiny hand becomes a maddening target. He hyperfixates on it. Soon, his mind is so consumed by this single blemish that he becomes entirely blind to his wife's overwhelming beauty. If you had the absolute scientific power to surgically erase the one physical flaw on the person you love, would you do it? And what toll would that exact from them? Aylmer completely stops seeing Georgiana as a wife. Love is replaced by an overwhelming urge to correct her. Their marriage devolves into a cold, dangerous clinical project. Hawthorne set this story in the late 18th century. It was a period of rapid scientific evolution, where researchers genuinely believed human intellect could eventually decode, conquer, and rewrite the rules of nature itself. This arrogance bleeds into Aylmer's subconscious. One night, he dreams of taking a knife to the birthmark, only to discover that the deeper he cuts, the deeper the mark goes, its roots sinking directly into Georgiana's pulsing heart. When Aylmer confesses this dream, Georgiana is devastated. She has internalized his disgust. Driven by a desperate need for his acceptance, she reluctantly surrenders her face to his scientific methods. He locks the two of them inside his laboratory. Day and night, he buries himself in his dense, obsessive scientific journals, searching for a cure to a disease that doesn't actually exist. Georgiana's willing submission is the quiet tragedy here. She allows herself to become a test subject because she has fully adopted her husband's toxic standards. Finally, the experiments yield a result. Aylmer produces a powerful chemical formula, a smoking purple mixture that he guarantees will dissolve the handprint forever. To prove its potency, he pours a few drops onto a diseased, dying plant. The leaves instantly turn a vibrant green. The plant stands upright, completely restored to health in a matter of seconds. Seeing this, Georgiana takes the potion. She drinks it down with absolute trust in her husband's intellect and quickly falls into a deep sleep. As she rests, the potion goes to work. Slowly, the red handprint actually begins to fade. Aylmer watches it disappear, swelling with immense pride at his own genius. He believes he has won. This momentary joy is the absolute peak of his hubris. He suffers from the delusion that mankind can edit the rules of nature without paying a severe penalty. The penalty comes quickly. As the final, faint trace of the red mark vanishes from her cheek, Georgiana's face turns a sickly, lifeless pale. Her breathing shallows. Her life force drains away. She opens her eyes just long enough to look at her husband and whisper that she is dying. And then she passes away, leaving Aylmer entirely alone with his suffocating regret. Aylmer misunderstood the science of the birthmark. It was never a flaw. That tiny hand was the physical manifestation of her mortality, her literal anchor to the earth. By successfully erasing the one physical trait that tied Georgiana to the mortal world, Aylmer did not perfect her, he erased her entirely. Hawthorne's story of a man killing his wife to make her pure is fiction, but it stems from a dark, real-world history. It points directly to the Salem witch trials. During those trials, over 200 people were accused of witchcraft, and many were executed. One of the ruthless judges handing down those death sentences was John Hawthorne, Nathaniel Hawthorne's own great-great-grandfather. He condemned innocent people to die in a fanatical hunt for spiritual purity. Hawthorne was so ashamed of this legacy that he added a W to his last name to distance himself from his ancestor. The birthmark is his philosophical response to that inherited guilt. He uses Aylmer to prove that an obsessive hunt for absolute purity, whether in a laboratory or a courtroom, always ends in death. We are defined by the marks that make us human. Genuine love and authentic humanity do not lie in the achievement of some impossible perfection. They are found in the radical acceptance of our imperfections.